Good morning, Rodrigo. How are you today? Can you hear us? Good morning, good afternoon. Participants on YouTube, we are very happy that you're here. Good morning, Fernando. Can you hear us?
Evening.
Good morning. I'm very happy to hear your voice.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Philip, good morning. Good afternoon, Philip, because it's in England. Good morning. So many. One second. There's one microphone open. One second.
Alô, tá ouvindo?
Yes,
Peraí.
Rodrigo?
Alô,
Hello, Rodrigo.
alô.
Modo auxiliar.
Tá ouvindo, meu?
Okay, one
Hello.
second. Fernando, can you? Thank you. Good afternoon, Philip.
Good afternoon, Eddie.
How are you today?
How do you do? I'm good, thank you.
I'm
And
fine.
yourself?
I'm fine. There's a beautiful day over here. We started with
That's good.
Yes, we started with 12 degrees in the morning. Now we're at 26. And how is it today in England? Yes.
We have it quite nice today. I don't think we had that much of a variance through the day, but it's pretty average at the moment. We're probably sitting at around 21, I would say.
It's a beautiful temperature.
It's nice. Good to relax.
Good, yes, good to hear. And good afternoon, Victoria. We're very happy to see you here on YouTube. And so far, I've seen 2 questions on Discord, one from Fernando, another one from Victoria, which I will attend during our conversation. And Kevin is here. Good morning, Kevin. How are you today?
Good morning.
We are very happy.
I'm okay, thank you.
We are very happy to hear you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you. And yes, Philip?
Good morning and good afternoon to everyone else as well.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shalom, Kevin, Philip, and all the friends from YouTube.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to pop with you into the whiteboard and look at the verse and the pictures and let's sing together. What would we like to start with? Yes. There is verse from Genesis 3, 2 verses, and there are here 2 drawings from the 17th century. And the topic, yes, Philip?
I was just going to say, I think the verse would probably be nice to start with.
Yes, let's do it. Who would like to read in English and then we shall read them in Hebrew? 1 second, I would like to focus the text. 1 second. Here. Is it good enough? I mean, the letters are big enough for us to read?
That's good, it shows.
Yes. On YouTube, I hope that you can see the verse from the beginning. I'll lower the text a bit. Yes. Thank you. Yes, please.
Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden the Cherubim, and the flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way to the tree of life.
Thank you so much. And Fernando, can you please read the Hebrew verses? Do you have a microphone?
Yes, I can try it.
Yes, thank you.
So, verse 23.
Yes.
Aishal Rehu Adonai Elohim Began Eden Be'avot את האדמה אשר לקח משם. 24 as well, it.
Yes, please.
So, כ"ד, ויגרש את האדמה, וישכן מקדם לגן עדן את הקרבים, ואת לחת החרב, חמית בהת, לשמור את דרך עץ החיים.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What is the context here? The verses, what do they deal with? What is the topic? Who would like
Could
to
we
sum?
possibly zoom?
Yes, Philip?
That's okay. I was just asking for the YouTube stream, but it's already been done.
Yes, thank you. Venus, good morning. Good morning. We're very happy that you're here. What is the context here? What does the Bible mention?
It seems like the expulsion from the Gan Eden.
Yes, yes.
And after the protection of the tree of life with the cherubims and the
Yes.
flaming sword.
Yes, very good. When you think now, this is an open question for those who have a voice connection in class and those who are participating at the moment on YouTube. This is an open question to everyone. When you hear the word cherubim, what comes to your mind, even if it's in innocent belief that you grew with as a child? Everything is accepted. Please share with us what is your idea, perception, concept, image, impression, memory about the cherubim. Please, this is a free speech, free class. Felipe, good morning. We're very happy that you're here.
For me, it came the image of two angels, like little babies that but hanging a sword. It is something like this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Fernando. Fernando, can you read for us what Venus is writing at the moment on YouTube? Do you see? Do you have a connection to YouTube?
I wasn't, but just a moment.
Okay, okay. Venus is writing at the moment.
Yes, guardian of threshold.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Venus and Fernando. Felipe, Rodrigo, Kevin, Philip, those who are silent at the moment on YouTube, this is a call to participate. When you think about the cherubim, what comes to your mind or to your heart? Or what kind of image floats your imagination? Kevin, please. Yes, Philip.
Well, it appears that the way that the sentence is finishing is that the intention is to keep the tree of life, the way of the tree of life, to continue.
So they are like guards. Would you portray them as guards?
And the flaming sword which turned way to keep. Yeah. Influences.
Philip, can you
Carol.
please? Yes, please, Fernando. Yes.
In the same line, Caron speaks here on YouTube. When I heard of cherubim, I think of a warrior or guardian around the throne or presence of Hashem.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that Felipe and Rodrigo can hear us at the moment. If you can hear us.
Yes,
Yes, Rodrigo.
I can hear you. Well, at the beginning, I believe that cherubim, uh, they are like a soldier or a big angel or something like that. But
Yes.
after, in our class, I learned that cherub is something related to the innocence, to the baby or something like that. And then today I relate the word cherubim with little babies, little angels, innocent, the innocence, or the pure heart, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Felipe? Felipe cannot have a microphone. Yes. Venus is writing. Fernando, what does Venus write at the moment?
Like
Venus.
a cupid.
Yes.
Cupid.
Like a cupid. So
I'm gonna
this is
say,
yes, Kevin.
I was gonna say, I keep getting the impression of a man riding the chariot.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good.
Like, because he drove out the man, and like he's on this chariot, and he's like now keeping and protecting the way to the tree of life.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who participate in answering this open question. It is open question. The answers are infinite. But I would like us to look at the value of cherubim and then...
Sorry, Eddie.
Yes, Philip?
Just a question to elaborate on this. The verses before this,
Yes.
who is it referring to exactly by him?
Adam. And therefore the
It is
Lord
Adam,
God
isn't it?
sent him. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. You're most welcome. Now let's look at the word cherubim, their value, and slowly we shall move into Philon's thoughts and see how Philon thoughts and the value of the word cherubim comes and maybe is reflected in your question. I mean, in your answer. Sorry, here it is, cherubim. Cherubim 222 plus Yod and Mem is always 50, so together this is 272. 2 times 72, what is this? Or how much is it?
144.
Yes. What is 144?
Adam or Emmett.
Yes, 1 second. I hope that Victoria can write to us because 1 second, YouTube is disappearing at the moment. Yes. Does it fit your understanding or impression of the cherubim? Does it fit? The numerical value, does it fit your assumption? Because we don't speak now about plastic image. This is not a plastic image. Yes. The interesting thing from Philon perspective is as the following. Philon sees the world or the universe divided into 2 parts. one part, the right part, is the good one. The left part is the hegemonia, meaning the one who governs, and between them is the center of the earth, or the center of the wheel. And this is the sword, להט החרב המתהפכת, or the sun, or the sphere of da'at inside of us. Da'at, knowledge. Da'at. You could call it reason, you could call it knowledge, and so. So inside of us, in each and every one of us, there is a center, and this center is Da'at. Da'at is the knowledge, or when wisdom meets understanding. When wisdom meets understanding, this is Da'at. Here. It's in the middle. Now, I would like to move with you to those drawings from the 17th century and see how do we settle the word Cherubim with what we see here. There's here one painting. Fernando, can you present this painting? I mean, there's a here. Do you see, Fernando?
And we can see, I think that is the moon.
Yes.
And we see some little angels like pointing instruments to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's written in, I think it's Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Observation of the moon
Mm-hmm.
in opposition with the sun, to the sun.
Yes.
And by Perla Perre Cherubim, and I think that is like it is talking about the cherubims, but I cannot translate properly.
It's okay.
Every-
So according to the description that we saw, those angels here, how many angels are in this painting picture? How many?
Four angels.
Four
Four.
angels. Four angels. According to the description, they call it the cherubim. And what do they do? What do they hold in their hand? What do they do here? What is their perspective, and how does it connect in a way to what Philon sends as the cherubim in us? Slowly, this is a very complex topic because we come with all kinds of beliefs, and slowly we shall move to mathematical value and to reason. So at the moment we see four angels or four cherubim. What do they hold in their hands? What do they do?
It's like an arrow.
An arrow, yes. What else? It
They are
seems-
observing. They are observing, and two are looking to the moon, and two are helping the other two.
Yes, yes.
The verse mentioned
Here, I'm sorry for the quality of the painting because it's like a snipping tool from Google. I could not download the picture, it's very rare. So what do we see here? In general, the painting is divided into two parts. What is happening in the upper part and what is happening in the lower part?
Angels
see-
are looking down to the men on the ground.
Who is looking down?
The angels.
The angels. What do they hold in their hands?
Like a looking glass
a telescope. Yes,
telescope.
telescope. The angels or the cherubim are holding telescope, and who is uh, who is above the ground? What is happening in the scene above the ground? What do we see?
It looks like some towers on fire in the distance, and there's a few people also with telescopes, all looking east as well. Except maybe the one in the middle may have a telescope upwards, but the people right in the front of the picture are all looking at the angels and interacting.
So, what is the hero? What is the hero in this painting? What is the motive? Not yes, what? Not who is the hero, but what is the motive which is presented here from many angles? What instrument? How many telescopes are in the picture?
Six, possibly.
You count 6. Yes. And the way the telescope is built, could we say that a telescope is like a sword, like the letter Vav? Could we relate to this telescope as the letter Vav, or like a
Yes.
sword? Yes.
Yes.
Now, can you put all of those details together? What is the connection between the cherubim in this painting, the telescope, the guarding of the tree of life, the knowledge, Sfirat Da'at, which is, merge between wisdom and understanding, and searching the moon from the perspective of the sun. And we did not even start. Just who would like to summarize so far our conversation? Ulte, yes.
Many ideas came at it. It's
Yes.
difficult to summarize, but I can point some ideas that came. Because if we start with the perspective of the tree of life, right, that we have the supernal reality as the mohims, the knowledge and understanding, and after we have Da'at as a marriage of these two poles, and after we have the 6 middle spheres that is related with the letter Vav, and finally we have Malchut. So if we think that the cherubims protect the unity, the tree of life, where we stand in unity, we can think that they are in the supernal reality, and what connects us to them is this Vav, is this 6 midot, is the sentiment, is what we feel. So just to start with some ideas that came to me.
Excellent, excellent. So here, what is the telescope? A telescope is built from lenses. So, and through this telescope, we have the ability, what? What is the telescope grants us?
See beyond.
Focuses.
Yes, focuses and see beyond. Yes, see beyond. It is interesting that to build a telescope, we need parallel lenses. It's like parallel thinking. This is interesting detail. But let's now go back to the topic of the cherubim, to the verse, and let's look at the two, verbs that Philon mentions here, excuse me for the English grammar, it's not that good. Philon mentioned two verbs, and he sent him, sent, and then to the expulsion, expelled, send and expel. Let us see together what is the value of to send. And he sent him in Hebrew is one word. Its value, vayeshalchehu, and he sent him, is 365. Philon writes that there are here two stages. First, he sends Adam from the Garden of Eden to cultivate the land, the Adamah, and then he expelled him. Now, what does it mean to send him? The value of the word vayeshalchehu, and he sent him, is 365. What does the number 365 stand for?
The days of the year,
Which year?
a solar year.
Solar year. Meaning the sun.
So is
Yes. So he sent him from which perspective? The solar year in us represents what? We have the lunar year, the moon cycle, and we have a solar year. What does the solar year represent in us?
The unity, it represents the higher realm
Yes.
of us, what is constant and brings life.
Yes, the unity or the soul perspective in us. The solar year represents the soul or the unity. Yes, so he sent him from this perspective, from the unity of the soul. He sent him from this perspective to live in time, and then he expelled him. First, he sent him from living in unity with the soul, and then he expelled him to live in time. First, to send him away from living with the unity of the soul, and then he expelled him. What does it mean, the expulsion? Expulsion means to live in time without having any relation to the eternal. When a person lives only in time, he lives like outside of the garden. And this is a punishment, to live only in time without having any sense of the soul.
so I'm sort of taking this as when God sent Adam here, that with the solar year being a representation in us, that it represents the entrapment of being inside this physical reality.
Yes.
And then to expel him, he detached him from the original place, basically, where he came from, to keep him within this reality.
Yes. Yes. This is it.
Perfect.
And whom did God put to guard? To guard the way to the tree. To guard the way to the tree of life, he put the cherubim. And we can look at the cherubim. Some people look, and at the time of the Renaissance, we see them as babies who are flying somewhere. But basically, is the sense of truth in us, the sense of human. Usually I translate Adam as human. Philon translates or expresses Adam as mind. Adam, he says, Adam is the mind in us. Adam. Eve is the expression of senses in us. Again, we look at a human being, not biologically, human. His sense of mind is Adam. His senses of feeling is Eve. So, who is guarding the way to the tree of life? The mind. And the truth. Those are the cherubim or cherubim. The mind and the truth.
I find it interesting, the start of verse 24. He refers to, if he's talking about Adam there, that he refers to that he drove out the man instead of referring to him as him, or unless he's talking about humanity in general.
This is a good question. In Hebrew, he says, Et Adam, the well-known Adam, meaning the mind. So, yes. The question is it a general for all of us? Or the specific first Adam? It's a valid question, but since this is, I would say, a spiritual mirror, so it is valid for all of us.
Betty,
Yes.
let me just ask you, because I was reading Philon as well, and when we speak about mind, I think that he speaks not only the rational mind, because he used the term knows, like Plato. You know, it is like it is beyond the mind that we know is the archetypal mind or something like this. It's not just knowledge, you know. Is something. I don't know if I'm right. I'm just putting the question.
So the question is what
What is the mind? Yes. What does it mean, this mind, in this context?
the capability to share the divine thought, the fact that we can think and can understand systems. Communication is the mind. He says something interesting, and this is also regarding to what Victoria asked a few minutes before class. She asked what to read, because Philon has 6 volumes, so and among those questions he raises like a general concept, what is Adam? And he says that the first fathers, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, they were listening inside of themselves to the nature, and by listening to nature and by being tuned with nature. They kept the law, so to speak, or the structure of the Torah before the Torah was written by Moses as a law. They were very, very tuned with the Spirit. And he says something interesting about Abraham. He, in a way, presents Abraham as a person, not as a person, but human who always learns, the constant learner. He's always interested in research and learning and applying, and he always sees in front of him this infinite progress. So Abraham in us is the one who always wants to learn. And then he sees Isaac as a natural talent in us. Isaac is a natural talent in us. Abraham in us is a constant learner, always challenged by things and think with nature, with systems to understand them. And the part of Jacob is missing. So in Philon's writing, this part is missing. But he speaks about the three figures, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not just as 10 times tetragrammaton or 8 or 7, but he speaks about qualities in us. And he says that though we see many people with arms and legs, not everybody is called Adam. Adam is the one in us who has hope, who lives for blessings and for good words. This is Adam. And according to this definition, not everyone is Adam. There is like certain phrases like animal Adam, like in Hebrew Chayat Adam, some kind of an animal that looks like plastically like Adam, but he does not consider those as Adam. Adam is the one who shares the same mind of God, or the divine Logos. This is Philon's definition for Adam. Adam is the one who shares the divine Logos. And according to this definition, not everyone is fitting this definition. Like people with bad speech, people who are constantly pessimist, don't have hope, they're not considered to be human. Human is first of all the one who has hope, because everything is good. He lives for a blessing, for good words, and he says about himself that since he loves humans, he lives far away from humans because he loves them. So he's contemplating and writing and discuss the good virtues, and so yes, according to his definition of Adam, not everyone is Adam, only those who share the divine Logos.
I'd like to
Yes.
say at this point, Ecclesiastes 1:18, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Fernando? I hope that Fernando can hear us.
So many ideas that he has. I'm listening. Yes.
You asked the question before class on Discord. Can you share the question, and I would like to answer this.
Yes. I asked on Discord about a quote from Proverbs 19 verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
which says that the soul without knowledge, that is not good. And I was asking, what does it mean to not have that, to not have this knowledge, this kind of knowledge?
Yes, thank you for the question, because that is not just knowledge, is a merge, is a middle line, is the child. I would say that is the child of wisdom and understanding. Wisdom is here. Is the right. Chokhmah. Bina is in the left side. Understanding. And that, in a way, is in the middle. But that, in a way, is the child, is a consequence, like they are relating as mother and father. They are relating, and that is the child. That, in a way, is the middle line between wisdom and understanding. And the verse says, can you please say it in Hebrew? I would like to write it. Fernando, Gam.
Yes. And Gam below that nefesh lo tov.
Gam below that nefesh lo tov. Nefesh is the lower part in us, the animated part of the soul, which is connected to the blood cells and associated with the liver, with mechanical function and so. And the verse says, when there is no middle line, even the lowest part in us does not feel good or cannot function, even in a mechanical level. And we see this in people who have Alzheimer. They cannot function. Why? Because there is no merge, or union between wisdom and understanding. In Alzheimer, when you make you make a scan of the mind, you see that there is a hole, there is a separation between the two minds, and this one is lacking. The child, the merge, is lacking, and as a consequence of that, a person cannot do mechanical task of the day, but also they cannot speak. Nefesh has the value or the structure of 3, 5, 8, like safa, language, and they cannot speak because there is no merge between wisdom and understanding. There is no union. So if there isn't any union, which is called da'at, first of all, a person cannot function technically, mechanically, task of the day, and second, and even higher, he cannot speak, because our ability to speak comes from, or is a fruit of, a merge or union between wisdom and understanding. This is why also our tongue, first of all, our mouth is in the middle of the face. We have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, but our mouth is in the middle, and also our tongue. Our tongue is da'at, which is in the mouth. Our tongue is in the middle, like the mind of da'at is in the middle between wisdom and understanding. I would say even in Luria, not Andre, Fernando, Luria says something very interesting. There is human mouth, let's say, something like this. The upper part, 1 second, I don't see Victoria. Can you write to me? I don't see YouTube. 1 second. The upper part, I don't know how to call it, the inside. I don't have, maybe you can help me, English speakers. Inside of the mouth, there is an upper part. I don't know how to call it in English. Can you help me?
I think you're talking about the tonsil.
Can you help me, how do you say, 1 second, I'll write it in Hebrew. Can you help me with writing this word?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Tons. I'll double check. It's either EL or AL.
Oh, can you check it?
IL, sorry.
Can you check it?
Yeah, it's definitely IL.
Okay, palette. Okay. So TON.
Yes,
Yes.
SIL.
Yes. This is it.
Tonsil. That's the one.
So Luria says that the upper part, or as Venus helps us, is helping us palette the upper part. The upper part is Abba. This is wisdom. The upper palette is wisdom, or Abba, or Father. The lower part, or the lower palette, is Ima, Mother, or understanding.
Sorry, Eddie. If anyone does want to correct that, I think she might be talking about something else if someone wants to correct me.
So it is tonsil is the right thing, the inner part in the mouth, which the tongue can either touch it up or down, is tonsil. Let me find out. 1 second. 1 second. We speak about 1 second. I will open here a dictionary.
Venus is saying that it's palette.
Palette, yes. 1 second. Chech in Hebrew it's chech. It comes from chokhmah. It's even interesting. Chech comes from chokhmah. Palette. Okay, palette. So I'll. Thank you.
If you're talking about the entire mouth, then yeah, it's definitely something else.
Okay, so thank you. 1 second. Okay. Thank you. You see, it's a mutual work. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Shalom. Just
Shalom.
one observation. I now can speak, and it's interesting because in Portuguese, the popular term that we use currently is something like heavens of the mouth, the upper
Yes.
part. Yes, it's like the heavens of the mouth, or mouth heaven, something like that.
It is.
And it's like the shamayim inside the mouth.
Oh, this is great. Because Luria says something very interesting. The upper palate is wisdom of Father. The lower palate is Mother or understanding. And the tongue which is in the middle, is the child. Or that. Yes, and when there's merge, the tongue can move up and down, left or yes, and a person can speak. Yes, Fernando.
I was just thinking here, trying to merge all the ideas, because we were talking about the expulsion of the Gan Eden, right? And it's interesting because the expulsion happens just after Adam meets Hava, and after they consume the fruit of the tree of knowledge and everything. But we have the expression of that as well, and in between Adam and Hava. And you said that Hava is the like the sensual feeling. It is like the manifested, right?
Yes.
So can we think that this union with the external brings this expulsion of the Gan Eden?
Yes.
Because we are not talking here about a male and a female character.
Yes.
We are talking about qualities inside of us.
Yes.
And I was wondering about the way of the coming back, you know, the teshuvah,
Mm-hmm.
because I was just reading the Parshat Emor,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the Parshat Emor, this portion of Leviticus speaks a lot about what the priest must do or not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is to marry with a virgin woman, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And if we think about qualities and not about something material, we
Mm-hmm.
could think that the priest as like a mind or a supernal mind, a pure light, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the virgin as the manifestation without uh, uh, corruption of the matter, without being. I don't know it. I'm just putting on the table these
It's good.
ideas.
It's good because it's good. It's good. It's good. First of all, what is the merge? Because you mentioned a few topics, so let's take care of them one after the other. What does it mean when Adam and Eve are mating or being together, and why does this kind of union sends Adam out of the Garden of Eden? If Eve is the senses or the feelings, yes, we have all kinds of feelings, and we can feel with the fingers, smell, all kinds of, yes, senses. If Adam, the mind in us, merge with the feeling, and we believe that what we feel at the moment is an absolute experience, at the same moment when our mind process or comes across the feeling, and the feeling in a way taking over, there's a merge, like reunion, and at the same moment Adam or human beings is how do you say, feels himself as a separate body. In a way, our feelings are disconnecting us from the divine logos. It's a revolutionary idea. The more we feel, I would say, or we identify with what we feel, the more we are, how to say, we experience the expulsion of the garden.
It is just to see if I understood, but is because feeling also could be related with sentiment, you know.
It is, yes, it is very important, because we are humans, we also feel, even, you know, it's not that we sense the feeling outside, but not to be consumed by the feeling. I will give you an example from Philon. He says, Adam is the mind in us, the divine logos. By our thoughts, by our speech, we can communicate like God. Eve is the body, how do you say, senses and feelings. This is Eve in us, or time. And the serpent in us is pleasure, the sense of pleasure. So what does it mean that Eve, like the sages say, was mating with the serpent? The feelings, they are, how do you say, mating with pleasures. If a person feels, let's say, something, he wants to feel more, to increase the pleasure. So the more he increases the pleasure, the more it's considered for Eve to mate with the serpent. And the more person mate with the pleasure, the children, the understanding that are coming from this is like children, like Cain. In a way, Philon says that the first sin, S-I-N, was Adam having his own mind. He thought, meaning cogito ergo sum, meaning let's take Descartes, yes, later in time. Cogito ergo sum, okay, I think it means that I'm existing. But Philon says once Adam noticed he can think, and he is translating the process of thinking as an essence, like kinyan, kaniti. Do you understand? Once a person could think and understand that he thinks, he thought that his process of thinking is his own invention. He did not relate to his, he did not capture his ability to think for a higher or supernal realm. He thought, I'm owning the process of thinking. And for this sentence, I'm owning the process of thinking, Philon calls Cain. Kaniti ish et Hashem. Ish comes from esh, yesh, the fact that I can think, the fire process in me, the thinking process is fire. The fact that I'm having or experiencing thinking, it means this is mine. Not that I was granted this ability. It is mine. I own the ability to think. This is Cain. This is how he understands or reads the speech of Eve. Kaniti ishe et Hashem. I bought a man from God. And now I come to answer Fernando's second question. The Kohen, why he should, or the high priest, this is how Philon sees the high priest in us. The high priest in us, or Kohen Gadol, is the divine Logos. This is why the divine Logos should stay pure, not interfere with any other realm, to have any attachment. This is why only a virgin, he can marry a virgin. What does it mean, virgin? The unknown. The unknown. It's not a biological. This is how people translate it, villagers, literally. The high priest in us, or the divine Logo, can have only one wife, or one possible mate, is the unknown, because the unknown is innocent. He doesn't know this thought yet. This is why the high priest in us always he's serving everyone, but he's clean. He's going always for the future. And high priest in us is wisdom, and wisdom always connect to the infinite, to crown. Because high priest in us, this is wisdom. Wisdom. This is high priest. And he has to marry what? Virgin. This is the infinite. This is his only wife.
Amazing.
Do we understand the concept?
Yes.
Definitely.
It is very complex because why? First we take the verses from the Bible, English and Hebrew, and then we open this mathematically, and then we take a concept of, how do you say, the 16th, 17th century of Cherubim. Look at this telescope, at the lens, because telescope is built from parallel mirrors or lenses. This is parallel thinking. And then we move slowly to Philon, and Philon is the most profound writer that I have ever seen. And I think that you can have your own experience from reading his books. Did you understand? This is we don't have to understand everything, but at least do we have a notion of how does it work?
I believe we were actually speaking about exactly that over the last couple of days, or even the ones prior, where we were mentioning that to be able to progress and learn comes with some forms of resistance to be able to continue on that path. And going through those different resistances depends on the situation. So you're going to get different feelings throughout it, and hence reactions as well. And whatever that circumstance is the lesson to be learnt at that time, but to be consumed by it is completely involving yourself from the human side of it, but to be able to step outside that alternatively, or by choice even, is to step into your spirit side.
Yes, you're correct. This is what he writes about Abraham. He's writing, this is a constant learner. He says that Abraham was purifying himself from being locked in time and space, always purifying and rising higher to a higher faculty inside of himself.
Of course. And to be experiencing here, we're always within the resistances of what this physical is. So whether you like it or not, really, all day, all night, these are the limits that give us our experience. But outside of those limits is what the Bible is teaching us. And why I would even say we're here.
Yes. Thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you. Venus is writing, Fernando, can you read Venus' question? Fernando, are you here?
I can read it.
Yes.
Venus asks, how do you know your thought is not divine and is yours outside the circle?
Training.
Every thought which is coming to us, this is interesting. How do you know your thought is not divine? It's opposite, Venus. Every thought which comes to us is a communication from the higher. And our, in a way, role is to listen to those thoughts and to try to sort and see what they try to communicate to us. And for this, to listen to those thoughts, it's good if we have space. Meaning, if a person all the time in a noisy environment, and when everybody's speaking, shouting music, everything is rolling, cars, and so it's not. It is almost impossible to do this. We have to take ourselves to a silent place and to listen very carefully. because if we are, this is interesting exercise, if we are in a noise, noise area, we shall have different thoughts or impressions or input to the senses. And if you take a person and put him in a silent place, like in nature or in the forest somewhere, when not many people are moving, arriving, playing music or making noise, he will have different thoughts coming to him. The divine always, in a way, like to have a space in silence. And when everything is like a space out in silence, there comes a lot of communication. Try to experience this, or to have an exercise of silence. Most of people in our time cannot tolerate silence. It means they cannot tolerate to the existing of the soul. You go sometimes and you see in one house, or here I heard, television is open, radios, WhatsApp, washing machine, food processor, vacuum cleaner, parakeets, doors are slamming, babies are crying, and everything at the same time. If this is not definition of hell, I don't know what hell is. And Philon writes that because he loves humans, he always restricts himself from humans, and he has this serene time to contemplate and to sing and to write. Not everybody.
May I share?
Yes, of course. Yes, Kevin.
When you have, you please finish. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Just, he says this is a beautiful, I think, because I love human, I keep myself far from you. Because I love them. Yes, Kevin.
Thank you. I just wanted to share a little experiment one can do is to imagine holding a plumb bob in your mind, and the plumb bob is pointing into your center inside you. And when you have a thought, you have it can swing to the right, or it can swing to the left, or stay into the center. But each direction exposes who you are based on how you judge the thought. And this is what we're learning here. And but it is very similar to that. Is how you receive it, and then to be able to honestly answer it, whether it seems as a good thing or a bad thing. It's we call it good or bad, but it's giving or it's giving or receiving. And when you finish, you remember, and it's instead of the learning and the knowledge coming from your sensations, it comes from knowing and remembering, and it's just given to you for free. Each one is, you don't have to work for it. It's free. Maybe I just confused everyone, but
No, you
I
did
wanted
not.
to share.
No, you did not. He says something similar about the fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They were just listening, and the listening to nature and the communication that comes from nature is the law of nature. This is also the argument why Moses opened the Bible with Bereshit, with the creation of the world, and not with the 10 Commandments. Because he says that the Torah is truth, emet, and also the laws of nature are truth. And with this we start with the truth. So the more we listen to the truth, or the more space we have in us to the truth, the more truth will come. But the more truth will come, more lies will fall, more attachment will disappear, and we have to be ready for this, to let go to the attachment, because more truth will come in, more lies will fall, like dead leaves from the tree. Because when there's a new grow, the tree always grow up, and there's always like green leaf at the top, but the old leaves, the dry, they're falling. Those are like our attachment to things which do not fit to our progress. So we have to be ready, because the more truth will come in, more lies will fall, and it's good to let them go, or to stay behind. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone. Questions or so, or thoughts to share? Thank you, Venus. Thank you, Victoria, Philip, friends on YouTube, Felipe, Fernando, Rodrigo, Kevin, Philip from England.
Thank you so much, Eti. Thank you, friends. Beautiful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. I would like to greet you for a beautiful new week, and we can meet here tomorrow at the same time. If you have questions, post them on Discord. We shall answer them. Thank you so much. Shalom, shalom.
Great. Shalom, shalom. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Shalom. Bye-bye.